Hi there. I want to talk to you about 8 phrases that often wield a hidden power. The topic, it's the use of manipulative language in our day-to-day conversations. At some point, you've probably been at the recipient's end or may have used the phrases yourself, not knowing it was manipulation. You see, manipulative phrases are more common than you think. They can sneak into conversations with family, friends, and even colleagues. The tricky part? These phrases are often disguised as something harmless or even caring. I've structured this video for your convenience. Feel free to watch it all in one go or jump to specific segments that cover each manipulative phrase. In each section, we'll break down the phrase, explore how to spot its use in conversation, and offer practical ways to respond. So whether you're here for the whole journey or just a part, you'll surely gain valuable insights. So let's get started. Our first manipulative phrase is a classic. You'd be hard-pressed to find anyone who didn't hear this one before. And it's, if you really loved me, you would fill in the blank. This phrase is a master at making emotional waves, but how do we spot it? And more importantly, how do we handle it? Let's break it down. First up is recognition. This phrase is a textbook example of emotional guilt tripping. It's cleverly designed to hit you right in the feels, where it hurts, right where it hurts. The moment you hear something like this, red flags should start waving in your mind. Why? Because it's manipulating your emotions, especially your sense of love and commitment to get a desired response. So how do you counter this tricky tactic? It's all about balance. Start by affirming your feelings. Yes, you love them, and that's not up for debate. But here's the kicker. Love should never be used as a bargaining chip. It's not a currency to be traded for compliance. Let's say your partner dropped this line to make you cancel plans with your friends. How do you respond? Try something like this. I love you, and you know that. But love isn't about always saying yes. It's important for both of us to respect each other's plans and decisions. See, you're acknowledging your feelings while also standing your ground. It's not about winning or losing. It's about setting healthy boundaries. Remember, love is about support and understanding, not about keeping score or making demands. So the next time you're faced with, if you really loved me, you would, fill in the blank, know that it's your cue to bring in clarity and balance, not guilt and compliance. All right, moving on to our next manipulative phrase, let's talk about everyone is doing it. This one is a real charmer, often showing up when peer pressure enters the chat. It's a phrase that appeals to our innate desire to fit in and conform. But let's unpack it and see how we can handle this like a pro. First, let's focus on recognition. This phrase plays on the bandwagon effect, the idea that if many people are doing something, well, it must be correct or desirable. But here's the thing, just because something is popular doesn't necessarily make it right. When you hear everyone is doing it, your mental alarm should, buzz, set off, signaling the use of peer pressure and the appeal to conformity. Now, how do we counter this? It's all about grounding yourself in your values and questioning the claim's validity. Just because everyone is supposedly doing something doesn't mean you should blindly follow suit. Let's imagine a scenario here. Your friends press you to participate in something that doesn't sit right with you ethically. What do? You want to stand firm and say something like, I understand this might be okay for some people, but it doesn't align with my values. By doing this, you're not just resisting peer pressure, you're also asserting your personal principles and decision-making autonomy. Remember, true strength lies in knowing who you are and what you stand for, not blending into the crowd. So the next time you hear everyone is doing it, take it as a cue to stand by your values and make choices that reflect the real you. All right, let's tackle another subtle yet powerful phrase. Don't you trust me? This one is a heavy hitter in the manipulation playbook, often used in situations where trust is being questioned or challenged. Let's look closer at spotting and responding to this manipulative tactic. Okay, first up, you probably guessed it, is recognition. When someone asks you, don't you trust me? It's usually in a context where your trust or doubt is being tested. The phrase can often be a red flag, especially when it's used to sidestep legitimate concerns or questions you might have. It's a clever way of shifting the focus from the issue to your feelings or trust, making you second-guess your intuition or your judgment. So how should you counter this? The key is to affirm trust where it's due, but also maintain the importance of transparency and clear communication. Imagine you're in a situation where a friend asks for a significant favor or makes a request that seems a bit off to you. When you hesitate, they retort with, "Don't you trust me?" Try responding with something like, "It's not about trust. I value our relationship, which is why I think it's important for us to be open and clear about what we're asking of each other." This way, you're not dismissing the importance of trust, but you're also not allowing it to be used as a tool to override your concerns. Remember, trust is a fundamental part of any healthy relationship, but it should never be used as a guilt trip or a way to bypass honest dialogue. So the next time someone plays the trust card with you, "Don't you trust me?" see it as an opportunity to reinforce healthy, transparent communication. Next on our list are the phrases, "You're just too sensitive" and "You're overreacting." These are prime examples of gaslighting, which is a manipulative tactic that can make you doubt your own feelings and your own reactions. Let's explore how to spot this and stand your ground. Again, as with all of our tactics, recognition is key here. When someone tells you that you're being too sensitive or you're overreacting, they're essentially trying to invalidate your feelings. It's a classic gaslighting move. The goal? To make you question your own emotions and responses, possibly to deflect accountability or criticism. It's important to be aware when this happens, as it can be quite subtle yet damaging. So, how do you counter these gaslighting attempts? Well, the most effective strategy is validating your feelings and seeking objective viewpoints. Let's say you're in a relationship, and every time you express a concern, your partner dismisses it with, "You're just overreacting." How should you respond? Well, you might want to say something like, "I understand that you might see it differently, but my feelings are valid and deserve to be heard. Let's try to understand each other's perspectives, okay?" This approach acknowledges your feelings while inviting open communication. It's not about winning an argument here. It's about ensuring that your emotions, they're respected. So remember, your emotions are a part of who you are. They shouldn't be dismissed or belittled. Standing up for your feelings isn't overreacting. It's being true to yourself. So when faced with "You're just too sensitive" or "You're overreacting," see it as a moment to affirm your right to feel and express your emotions. Now, let's turn to a phrase often cloaked in the guise of concern. It's, "I'm only saying this for your own good." This phrase can be tricky as it appears to come from a place of caring, but can often be a way to assert control or push one's own agenda. So let's dissect this and see how to respond effectively. This phrase is commonly used to justify unsolicited advice or criticism. It's a subtle way of saying that the speaker knows better than you about what's good for you. While it sometimes comes from a genuine place of concern, it can also be a manipulation tactic, especially if it's used to undermine your choices or preferences. Countering this phrase involves a balance of acknowledgement and assertion of your own autonomy. Imagine a scenario where a parent or a mentor uses this line to criticize a major life decision you've made, like your career choice. How should you handle it? In this scenario, consider responding with, "I appreciate your concern and understand where you're coming from, but I also need to make choices that align with my own goals and happiness." This response acknowledges their concern while firmly placing the decision-making power in your hands. It's important to remember that while advice can be valuable, you are the ultimate decision maker in your life. So when someone says, "I'm only saying this for your own good," take it as a chance to appreciate their concern, but also to reaffirm your right to make your own choices. Now, let's turn our attention to a phrase that can create a heavy sense of obligation. "You owe me." This one is all about calling in debts, not financial ones, but those of the emotional or favor-based kind. It's a phrase that can subtly guilt trip you into feeling indebted. Let's dive into how we can recognize and counteract this one. Recognizing this phrase is crucial. When someone says, "You owe me," they're often leveraging past favors or good deeds to induce guilt and compel you to comply with their request. It's a tactic that turns past kindnesses into a form of currency, implying that relationships are, transactional. So how do you counter this? The key lies in acknowledging past actions while clarifying the nature of favors and kindness. Imagine a colleague reminds you of a time they helped you on a project and now expects an unwarranted favor in return. How should you respond? You might say something like, I appreciate the help you gave me, and I was happy to receive it. However, I believe favors are acts of kindness, not transactions. I'm more than willing to help when I can, but this request doesn't seem appropriate or feasible for me right now. This approach acknowledges their past help, but also sets clear boundaries about what is reasonable regarding reciprocation. While it's great to help and support each other, no one should feel perpetually indebted. Kindness shouldn't come with strings attached. So when you hear, "you owe me," view it as an opportunity to promote a healthy, balanced approach to giving and receiving help. Now let's move on to a phrase that tugs at our heartstrings and a personal favorite of mine. We're family, aren't we? Or we're friends, aren't we? These phrases can be particularly impactful because they exploit the deep bonds and loyalties we have in our personal relationships. Understanding how to navigate this is very crucial. So let's break it down. First off, recognizing this tactic is all about seeing the use of personal relationships as leverage. It's a form of emotional manipulation when someone plays the family or friendship card to influence your decision, especially in situations that make you uncomfortable or go against your judgment. It's important to be aware of this, as it can place undue pressure on you to comply regardless of your feelings or your interests. So how do you counter this? Well, it involves delicately addressing the unfairness of using such relationships as leverage. For instance, say a family member is asking you for a loan that seems risky or beyond your means. How should you approach this? Consider responding with, "I value our relationship deeply, and because we're family or friends, it's even more important that we respect each other's boundaries and comfort levels. I'm uncomfortable with this loan, and I hope you understand my position." This response honors the relationship while clearly communicating your limits. Remember, the strength of family and friendship lies in mutual respect and understanding, not in obligation or guilt. So when confronted with, "we're family" or "we're friends, aren't we?" take it as an opportunity to reinforce healthy boundaries and open, honest communication. The next manipulative phrase on our list is, "you wouldn't understand." This one can be quite dismissive, often used to belittle someone's intelligence or their understanding. It's a tactic to avoid providing explanations or justifying actions. Let's see how we can effectively recognize and respond to this. When it comes to recognition, this phrase is a clear sign that someone is trying to shut down a conversation or avoid going into detail. It implies the topic is beyond your comprehension, which can be both frustrating and demeaning. Be alert, especially in discussions where transparency and understanding are crucial. Countering this phrase is about asserting your right to understand and be involved in the conversation. For instance, imagine you're in a situation where someone is avoiding giving you clear explanation about a financial decision, basically brushing you off with a "you wouldn't understand." What's the best approach? A good response might be, "I'm genuinely interested in understanding this better. Could you explain it to me in simpler terms? Or let's find a way to discuss this that makes sense to both of us." This shows your willingness to understand and keeps the conversation open rather than allowing it to be shut down. Remember, seeking clarity and understanding is a fundamental part of communication. Don't be put off by, "you wouldn't understand." See it as an invitation to engage more deeply and ensure that you're fully informed and involved in matters that concern you. As we wrap up our journey through the maze of manipulative phrases, let's take a moment to reflect on what we've uncovered in our session together here. Recognizing and countering manipulative language isn't just about winning arguments. It's about fostering daily, healthy, honest, and respectful communication. The importance of awareness and assertiveness cannot be overstated. You empower yourself and those around you by being alert to these common manipulative tactics and knowing how to respond to them. You create an environment where open dialogue and genuine understanding are valued over deceit and coercion. I encourage you to practice these recognition and counter strategies in everyday interactions. And remember, this is a learning process for all of us. If you've encountered other manipulative phrases or have experiences to share, please drop them in the comments below. Your insights are invaluable. Together, we can grow and learn from this. If you found this video helpful, please give it a like and share it with someone who could benefit from it. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel and turn on notifications so you don't miss out on our future content where we dive deep into topics like communication, other soft skills, and personal growth. I want to thank you very much for watching. Keep striving for clear and kind communication, and I'll see you in the next video.